Just wrapped up a lunch and an amazing workshop session where Naeem led us to help us understand the power of physiology, the power of mindset, and the power of making these small decisions that can really have a crazy ripple effect on your life, your business, every aspect. And you work with a lot of high performance people, right? You work with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners. What do you think separates the average business owner that might be in the grind and a funk from the people that are really able to pull away and separate themselves from the rest of the herd?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say with my bias, it's people that can manage their energy. Energy is the most important resource. And if you can manage your energy in the right ways, then you can get leverage on your outputs of work, the results you're producing, and also leading your team, right? As you know, you lead a team, you do a great job at that, but also being able to lead your people and also getting the biggest outputs from them as well.
Yeah. What do you think is what robs people from having the right energy, and what is something that people can do? What's a simple hack to get more energy and the right energy?
Yeah. I'd say similar to what we talked about earlier on your group session with your team. It's really simple practices that people just outthink themselves from doing because they're so simple, but it's really just learning to manage your physiology, right? Keeping your shoulders back, your breath, your smile, it's a little smile on your face, even though it seems cheesy. And in the army and the military, people have these multi-million-dollar aircrafts that only certain people can touch because they're trained to use them. And if you fuck it up, you're going to get fucked. But we have the most billion priceless aircraft, right? But even if your body were worth $1 billion, you're like, oh shit, that's $1 billion. Like this arm is worth like $200 million, right?
Yeah.
But we don't learn how to use it, our brain, our heart, our body to its full potential, and managing our nervous system. So again, on a day-to-day basis, moment-to-moment basis, to really, again, keep the energy high, and it's a habit. And if you're able to do that, you're able, moment to moment in life, really maximize every single moment.
So I hold my breath a lot when I'm working and I'm focusing and concentrating. How do I break that habit? And there's two things. Sometimes I don't know, I'm a mouth breather still. It's a tough habit to break,
Yep.
I'm not at my pinnacle yet.
There's a really good book called Breath. Have you heard of it?
I haven't. But I constantly find myself holding my breath when I'm focused and concentrating, and then I'm gasping for air. What is the strategy that you have to overcome that?
Yeah, I would say practice breathing while you're doing that instead, because there's definitely something going on that causes. Again, everything is patterns. So you have a pattern right now where you hold your breath when you're creating things, and it may actually serve you, but also in some ways it might not, because holding your breath isn't always the best, because it's going to get you into a little more of a tense state, right? You have less oxygen flow into your body. Yeah. So I would practice getting in, just breathing.
Okay. Yeah. I asked my friend, hey, tell me more about breath work and all this stuff. He's just like, have you just tried just breathing? Just breathe. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'll start there.
It is really cool though, right? Literally just breathe. And also the thing most people do, bro, they breathe here into their upper chest. But exactly, right? You want to breathe into your diaphragm. When you do that, it's also for health reasons, is lymphosizing your body. The lymph system is the sewage system, right? Which actually cleanses you of toxins.
Yeah.
So, but if you breathe deep in your belly, there's different breathing patterns that create different states. So there's breathing patterns for calm. There's breathing patterns for focus.
Yeah.
There's breathing patterns for anxiety. Yeah. So if you breathe deep into your belly, that's going to get you calm, relaxed, present. And then again, if you do that, you're going to be able to produce better output in your work. Also in meetings too. When I first started speaking, I would breathe really quick too, because I was nervous. But then when I started to catch myself, regulate it, then I could speak much more clear, much more present, much more powerfully.
That's awesome. Yeah. I when you said that, I already I'm like, I want to embody that.
Yeah. And you're doing it right now.
It is powerful when you're just actively thinking about everything, right? And being present and being okay with slowing down. Because sometimes I find myself rushed to say so much, and I'm trying to find that balance between, you know, the power of brevity, but also I only have 30 minutes. How do I communicate all that I want to communicate in a time that, you know, the time that we have? And if I don't communicate enough, that maybe this person won't get it. So how do you, I guess, balance something like that? You know, there's always this yin and yang, this paradox. I talked to you about like the paradox that I'm facing with, you know, like achievement of like I get my self-worth from achievement, but I was talking to, you know, my mentor, and it's just like, why can't you just be worthy? Right? So how do you balance that?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to address what you said right before that too, which is really powerful. You can't not communicate. Also though, 90% of your communication is actually nonverbal. So I'd also invite you and everybody else, and myself too, I'm always practicing this. Communicate through your body, communicate through your presence, communicate through your tonality, and also the pauses. The power is in the pause.
Yeah.
So right, when people, if you want people to listen, you gotta whisper. So play with the tonality, your inflection, your tempo, and that's going to make you a much more effective communicator, and you'll actually get better results even though there's less words. It's like the AIs generate all these tokens. You'll use less tokens from your own system. You're going to get a bigger output, right?
Yeah, that's powerful.
With the other thing that you said, I love that too, man. It's a common challenge for most, especially really successful people. And we see it all the time. They have all the signals of success, the bank account, the business, the partner, right? Beautiful wife, beautiful spouse, whatever it is. They're fit even, right? They're really healthy. They have the cars, but they're still unhappy and they're unfulfilled. Because there's two key skills to life that Tony Robbins would always tell me when I was working for him. There's the science of achievement, which is a science, that's why it's cool. Because if you taught me the science of building an agency and helping me market my business better, I can produce that result, because science is a duplicatable process. Just like losing weight, getting a six-pack, same thing. And then same with business, same with health, all that stuff. So you'll get the result, but the piece that people miss is the art of fulfillment. And the fulfillment is what you said. How can I just be joyful just for the sake of being joyful? Not because I have a $10 million business or a $100 million business, or I have a beautiful spouse, or I'm good looking, or I have a six-pack. I'm joyful, or I'm grateful, or I'm worthy just because I exist. And that's a beautiful place to be. And that is, I challenge my clients this a lot. I say, a billionaire is not that unique. Somebody that's happy for no reason, that is unique and that is significant. So that's a cool new reframe I'd invite people to try to focus on, where it's like, hey, just be joyful and worthy just for the sake of it without needing the external validation to do it. And then how do you do it is like we did earlier with your group. It's practicing getting in these states. Just like, again, you go to the gym and you work out, you got to practice working out your emotional muscles and your nervous system just by getting in those states. So how many times per day and how long per day do you get into that state of joy, gratitude, worthiness, whatever it might be, right?
So what are like simple steps that someone who is a little bit frantic, reactive, they're responding to fires all day, and you know, at the end of the day, they're like, I can't even, right? And it's like, I don't have time for that. And this, like that mentality, how do you start making this shift? Because it's not gonna I don't think it can happen overnight, right?
Yep.
But it can happen faster than we think as well. So how is it, what are some strategies and also practices that you recommend to start making the shift?
Yeah, I love that. Great question. So one thing I'll reference, I love how Warren Buffett says, if you don't have money to invest, that means you have to invest, even if it's a penny, even if it's $1. And also, if you don't value $1, you're like, oh, what's $1 going to do? If you don't value $1, you're not going to value $1 million.
Yeah.
So I see people all the time that have all the money, they don't care about it, they don't value it. And then same with people say, the Dalai Lama said this one, if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate, that means you need to meditate for 3 hours, right? So I'd say that'd be kind of like my simple answer, where it's like, if you're feeling pulled all over the place, or just like from the moment you wake up, or just nonstop putting out fires, you got to start doing some practices and rituals that regulate your nervous system, because you're just in the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. And some people like it because, again, they feel good, they get dopamine, they're like all over the place, but ultimately that's going to burn you out. And at the end of the day, their adrenals are burnt. They're going to have disease, like literally in their body. So if you learn to operate from more parasympathetic, kind of like, again, like I said, Bruce Lee, where you're in a relaxed focus, a relaxed stance, where I'm ready. Bruce Lee was always ready to strike and like take you out. And he was always relaxed like water. So you want to kind of be in that middle space, that space between the notes where, hey, like I'm present, I'm ready, I'm strong, ready to strike, and I'm managing my energy, I'm taking care of myself. So to do that, you got to do practices like meditation, journaling, breath work, practice breathing, breath work, going for walks. And this is where you just got to build a program, just like you have, again, systems for your business and for your team. You got to build a system for yourself, your operating system for your nervous system, to, from the moment you wake up, even if it's a minute, like nobody has, even if you have no time, you have a minute to like close your eyes, take 10 breaths, visualize, be grateful, write down 3 things you're grateful for, and then go. Yeah. Ideally longer, like you should be able to do 20 minutes, 30 minutes even, and also work out, obviously. But again, even if you have no time, which is not true, that's bullshit. Even if you have no time, take a minute, breathe, and then do that every hour, right? If you just pause for an hour for a minute and move your body, stretch your body, physiology, visualize, breathe, I guarantee you, like you can't be depressed and grateful at the same time. So if you get yourself into these grateful states, you can't be anxious and depressed as well at the same time. They're totally opposite experiences.
Yeah. That's really powerful. And I think it's those simple practices, right? Like it's so easy for me to see someone else struggling with their business. And I'm like, oh, you can just delegate here, automate this. You need to reframe that. But even for myself, like, I'm like, oh, I'm too busy to meditate. And like you said, well, that's the reason why you should be meditating for 3 hours. Like I need to be able to slow down. And I found some of my best work has been done from a state of calm. My best ideas, my best, my most focused work has been from a place of calm, as opposed to just reactive and trying to answer Slack messages here, put out this fire there, get back to a client that wants a refund here, try to close this deal that is just like, okay, this has been on my books for 2 weeks. I'm trying to, move this along. But how do you balance that all, right? Like, how do you balance calm and trying to get shit done? Or can you really do both? Because I feel like a lot of successful entrepreneurs and businesses, they operate from a sense of urgency. They operate from a sense of, they use scarcity to sell. They use these tactics that are maybe anti-calm and peace and all these things, right? Like, because if I want to use scarcity to sell, I have to also embody scarcity to some extent. But operating from a point of scarcity is not a good place, energy to come from.
Yep. And so
I'm sure you observe this in a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs. How do you balance the tactical business, go, get on these leads, hit these KPIs with be like water?
Yeah. Yep. And dude, it's both. And this is the beauty of life. It's duality. But the conscious mind thinks in binary, usually this or that, right? Is it good or evil? Is it masculine or feminine? Is it dark or light? Is it, right? So it's all of it. And North Pole, South Pole, we wouldn't have it without that duality of it both. So it's both. And to actually do that, because I would invite you to think, and I know people that do it that way, but I also know a lot of people, entrepreneurs that are very successful, that operate from the other fuel of like, hey, I'm joyful, I'm worthy, and operating from that place, and they actually get more shit done.
Yeah.
And they still, and I still too, I get in that mode where I'm just like busting. I'm on sales calls, ripping calls nonstop, right? Do my events, I close people. So I'm still there, but I'm not doing it from, again, just the energetic for me, where it's like draining me. It's more just like, is it draining you or is it energizing you?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm actually energized. Like this thing is energizing me. The next meeting, energizing me. The next one, energizing me. Before, when I was operating the other way, I'd be beat at the end of the day. When I was working on Wall Street, I'd be working nonstop. At the end, I'd be beat. I'd drink alcohol. I'd smoke weed. I'd have to do all these things to like release. Now, from this place, you want to do things that keep energizing and energizing and energizing. At the end of the day, I'm still tired, but I have the psychic energy, the spiritual energy that's like
100%. Yeah, and I see that a lot in people, right? The people I interface with, either they're taking energy from me, exhausting me, or they're building momentum, building growth, like building this energy with me. How do you discern people that are aligned, clients that are aligned? Because I'm sure you've had clients that want to pay you a lot, but they take so much out of you. And, sometimes, I have this one client, Kevin, shout out to Kevin. And I have this mentality where I need to show up for my clients and deliver as much value as possible in the shortest amount of time, because I'm expensive. And if I don't deliver tremendous value, I feel like they're going to cancel. I feel like they're not going to see the value in it. They're going to question why they're paying this much. And so I'm always like, I got to go. And then he calls me sometimes. I'm like, hey, so, can we get an agenda together before the call so I know exactly what I can help you with? And he's just like, bro, I just want to catch up with you. I want to talk. I just want to see what's going on, how your parents do. And I'm like, shit, I feel like I didn't be coaching with you, in many ways, right? Because on the business side, I definitely have a lot to offer, but on the chill, bro, like, can we just talk and hang out and be friends and, learn and grow from a place of calm and peace? So I guess back to my main question is, I feel like there's a lot of people out there running businesses, working with clients that don't serve them, but operating from a place of, I need this client. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to pay my employee. And some people that have maybe invested a lot in team members that, drain them and, require a lot of emotional energy to keep them, going and around. They need to motivate them. They need to discipline them. They need to do all of these things. So for a entrepreneur or business owner, or even person that, might be working a job with a boss that's like that, in the other way where, they're berating them or mistreating them, how do you pick and choose your battles? Because some battles, I feel like it's inevitable, right? Some battles are inevitable for people to have to face because they got to put food on the table. And there's no other way but to deal with the shitty boss, or, all right, I'm going to give my employer another chance, because if I let him go, I literally would have no time with my family.
Yep. So can you rephrase that? I missed the...
Yeah. So how do you get yourself out of a situation where you feel like there is no other way but to endure?
Yeah. Well, sometimes that is the only situation. And I tell people sometimes you got to do the things you don't want to do to get to where you do want to go. I played basketball in college and I hated doing sprints. I hated waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, but I did love competing in like games with my friends and traveling on the road and going to different cities and just playing games together. So, and the flip side to your question, there are environments you don't always want to be in. And sometimes though, in the moment, you might not be able to get out. Like, for lack of a better example, you're in jail, right? It's like, that sucks. Like, one, don't ever go to jail. But two, just for the sake of the example, if you're in jail, it's like, all right, like you don't want to be in that environment, but you can't get out. So to endure that until you're actually released, or if you grow up in a crappy environment, like just growing up and you're not in a beautiful environment in nature, and then eventually you want to get there, but you can't in the moment because you're working to that. Maybe it's going to take 6 months to get there. That's where even more so those rituals and practices are important, because again, the external world, it definitely does. And you want it to, if it's going to influence you in a good way, but also if it's not, you don't want it to influence you, right? If it's a crappy environment. So that's where you don't need to let it influence your internal state. And to do that though, that's where you do want to do these practices like meditation or journaling or breath work to make sure you don't let it mess you up so you can endure those moments.
Yeah. So those concepts that you teach, they seem so simple.
Yep.
Yet there are high performance individuals paying you, tens of thousands of dollars for your help, but they could technically get it for free.
Yeah.
Right. So why does someone invest with you? What mindset do they have to make that make sense for them? And like, why wouldn't they just, buy a book on meditation and watch a podcast or listen to a YouTube video for some breath work? Why work with you?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. First of all, I would definitely do those things too. Get a podcast, get the books, right? Those are great like intro pieces to start down that journey and take those steps on that path. People work with me because I focus on results like you do too with your clients. It's on the results, the KPIs that people are after. And that's where you want a little more expertise, a little more mastery of a craft. And I've been blessed to work for Tony Robbins, who's the best in the world at helping people transform and get results. So this is just dribbling the basketball, like the breath work, the journaling. That's just like first level of like, just do that first. But then it already helps me because I'm like, all right, I know you're not going to have these crazy crashes. You'll still have challenges, but I know you're like, know how to dribble. And now we can start doing like dunks and through the legs and like more fancy stuff. So then it's really going to the deeper stuff and the internal stuff because we all have internal programming, beliefs, values, need structures that are just jumbled up for most people because we're just born. We have parents that aren't perfect. Nobody's parents are perfect. And we have experiences in life, experiences as kids that just rewire our internal processes and programming in jumbled ways. And most people never learn how to actually rewire that, which is, I just got fascinated once I had understood you could even do that. I'm like, oh, wow. I had so much pain in my life growing up with my parents and growing up, but like a lot of people do. And once I learned, oh, wow, I can actually change this stuff. Like I can do what I want. I can like do whatever the hell I want. Like if you learn these tools, which is kind of like, I have a lot of clients that love OpenClaw now, right? Just coding their AIs. Yeah. And it's like the same thing. You create these agents, but the most important agent first is this agent. But we spend so much time learning how to create these agents, but we don't spend any time learning how to code this agent. Yeah. But the cool thing is there's a manual to code your agent, my agent, Wolf's agent. And when you do that, by coding this better, I actually inform those agents better anyway, right? Kind of like Elon Musk talks about. Yeah. Are you making friendly AI or evil AI? So kind of bring it full circle. When I work with people, we go deep on really what is the architecture in here that is invisible that most of us aren't aware of. Because again, we never learned this stuff. I learned it. You learned things I have no clue about, which is why you could teach me a lot of amazing things as well. Yeah. So just vice versa. I've mastered this for over 15 years and I got to work with Tony. So I have some special skill sets that have been very useful for people.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing all these strategies and the mindset shifts that are required to start building. If you had one last piece of advice to give your younger version of you, like 15 years ago, let's just say you had like 5 minutes to go back in time and actually sit down and talk with your younger version of yourself, what advice would you give yourself?
That's a great question. I'm going to put the timer on 5 minutes. So first I'd say start now, which again sounds kind of cliche, but I wish I just started earlier. So if you're looking at this podcast or this video and there's something you want to start now, because it's really practice. It's time and getting your reps in. Mastery is just about reps, getting your shots up. Steph Curry, he made, I think, over 4,000 3-pointers in the NBA, but he actually took over like 4 million shots in his lifetime. So it's about getting those reps in. So start now, whatever it is, starting a business, starting an agency, getting in the best shape of your life, whatever it is you want to do, start now because it's really reps and get those shots up every single day. Also find mentors, right? People like Brendan, you have a great group that people can join. Find mentors, peer group, put yourself around the right people because that is going to help you grow the fastest too. Because that's where hanging out with you, man, I get to just by osmosis pull your genius out of you, right? Subconsciously and consciously. So I'd say those two things. Start now and make a concerted effort as much as possible to be around people that are going to help you grow. And to do that, you have to add value to them. And one simple way to add value is to manage your state. People are like, I don't know how to add value. I don't have money. Like, it's not about money. It's not about like even being smart. It's about being in a great state. Smile. Like people want to hang out with you if you're feeling good, right? So if you don't know how to add value, just make people feel good. Tell people a joke every time you see them or or just put a big smile on your face.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's good advice. Well, thanks again for joining us on a quick episode of the Partners Podcast. For those who want to follow you and your journey, as well as all the lessons that you have to share, how can they find you?
Totally. You can go to my website. It's naeemmahmood.com. I think we'll put the link.
Yeah. So that's a mouthful.
And then you can also go to my Instagram, is same thing. I am Naeem Mahmood, and I have a podcast called Peak Humans, which is pretty epic as well. So check that out too.
Yeah. What type of people or personalities have you interviewed?
Yeah. So I interview the thesis for that show. I love how Tim Ferriss does his show, where I just love, and Tony's great at this too, just modeling excellence. So whenever I find people that are doing cool things in the world, whether it's in business, whether it's in athletes or art or film or whatever, I just love to like sit down. It's my selfish excuse or reason to be able to be like, hey, sit down with them, kind of pull out their belief systems, their habits, their rituals.
Yeah.
One, so I get to learn, but then also two, share it with my audience.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely, man.